Play of the game from way down.
1, 2, silence.
Raynor getting absolutely
A team wipe.
The living bomb's going.
Oh my goodness, the ring. Bob Stasnico gonna find Raynor.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to NGS Thursday, where there are always a million matches to watch. During the NGS season, we have a Division A matchup, which should be a really great one. Lionspeed, Sky5. Joining me, the queen of Division A herself, born to shine. How's it going?
Hey, Mongoose, I'm doing pretty good. How about you?
Doing fantastic. So these teams are on time, ready to go, 10 in lobby for Game 1 on Alterac Pass. This is my shocked face, because that never happens. So we're going to show, show the standings real quick so everybody knows where we're at. Gilly Shark running away with Division A right now, but right on their heels is Sky5 having a great season. And just a couple spots behind them is Lionspeed. So these two teams have been picking up wins, been picking up points, both in the upper half of the standings. So I'm really excited for this.
Yeah, this is going to be a good match. So I'm excited.
This is actually just by happenstance the third opportunity I've gotten to cast Sky5. They just always happen to schedule games in the slots that I'm looking, which is great because I get to know the teams a little bit. That's always fun. And also, we have also decided that we're really here just to give Spartacus a hard time. That's really why we're casting.
Yeah, that was definitely agreed upon ahead of time. That was the whole goal for this cast. So Spartacus, get ready. A little bit of heat coming your way.
Thanks, Goliath. I appreciate that. So we got the R's from the teams. I imagine we're going to be pressing some buttons soon. One of the things that I've picked up here from watching Flash, let me make sure. Why is, I know why that's not coming through. My game now has no sound because I am a terrible caster because I never put game on speakers, and I did this one time because the kiddo wanted to sit on my lap. But now it's fixed. One of the things about Sky5, they have their own kind of meta style they play with. Apple Mike in particular as a hero that he plays well and differently than I've seen it played before. Actually, two of them, but one of them's usually banned. So we'll see if we see some of those Apple Mike specialties. First ban Abathur by Lionspeed and the ETC ban by Sky5 to follow up, and then followed by a disconnect.
Ooh. Rip.
All right, well, at least I fixed my sound before we realized that there was nothing going on. Galactus is coming back.
Yeah.
Hopefully. Otherwise, they have to play with Bot Muradin.
And playing with a bot is never fun.
Well, I mean, Bot Muradin is different, though. He has his own Twitter account, and Bot Muradin has won an HGC game.
Oh, wow. Very impressive.
Bet you didn't know that about Bot Muradin, did you?
I did not. Although my team last night when I was playing with a couple friends managed to win with Bot Morales when my computer decided to kick me. So I was like, well, that's impressive.
Yeah, actually, we had a guy DC on our team, and we had Bot Falstad actually win a 1v1 in the solo lane. Like, yowza.
These bots, I mean, whatever they did when they tweaked their programming or whatever, apparently it works.
I mean, I guess. It really seems hit or miss, like all or nothing. Either they're just absolute garbage, or they're the Falstad that wins 1v1 in the off lane somehow.
God tier.
Yeah, I don't even know how that happens. Gives Bourne more time to talk about flex matches. That's true. Let's vamp about flex matches. If you're a team captain or know a team captain and you haven't scheduled any flex matches, you really should, because we're almost halfway through the season And if you don't have those yet, you're behind. So you should really do that.
And I will say all of Division A is behind because, like you said, we are almost halfway through our season and less than half of these flex matches have been scheduled. So shout out to Division A, get your flex matches on the calendar.
Yeah, and I want to say nice things because actually Division A has been really a blast to watch this season. But if you don't get those flex matches, I don't want any forfeits to decide anything here in the division. So get those things going.
I don't like handing out double forfeits. So definitely schedule those.
All right. Well, while we're waiting for Blockus, I believe, who do you like on Alterac Born? What are the Born Alterac Pass Especials?
You know what? I don't even really know where to go with that or how to answer that because my team never plays it. No one ever seems to pick it, in the matches that I've played in the past. So I don't know that I really have a particular strategy.
Well, I'll give you two then. I'll answer my own question. I'll interview myself.
Give me your tips and tricks for Alterac Pass.
So one of the more common ones that you're going to see is Junkrat jumps up the prioritization because of his ability to safely stall out the objective from those mid-fort and kind of lob the grenades over. He can keep the concussion mine there indefinitely for vision, and it's really, really annoying when he's sitting safely behind base just kind of lobbing in those grenades. Chromie, for the same reason. Although, if you have both of those, Chromie at least can dump damage on the Junkrat in the base and vice versa. One of the sneaky ones that I don't know if either one of these teams has this player is Samuro, actually. And that is because Samuro, with his clones, can actually self-cap the jail without any help because he gets the clones to tank the little jail guardians, and then he can cap it. So, and a lot of teams don't really realize this, but even if you're holding the other team's objective, they can still grab your own. Like, both can be channeled at the same time. So if you're ahead and you get your Samuro to kind of sneak back there and grab it and they're not paying attention, right, and if Regen Blue were a better team, we could have taken advantage of this.
I wonder if he solo that that mid pushing camp as well with his clones.
I believe he can, yes. But generally, you're going to send somebody over there. It's not particularly fast.
Okay. Because I know on other maps he's used to take the camps and stuff.
Big time. Yeah, big time Merker. So those are my three Alterac Pass heroes du jour: the Junkrat, the Chromie, and the Samuro.
Okay.
The Junkrat's going to be the one that you see most commonly, though, because I think that's the one that's most commonly played of the three.
Yeah, I haven't seen too much of Chromie, but I can definitely see how she would be annoying in this situation for sure. I mean, I think she's annoying in all situations the time.
Yeah, and not just because of the ranged poke, but the slowing sands and those choke points you're always fighting around. It just completely cuts off.
So frustrating.
An area, yeah, we had that run against us, and it was very effective / irritating. So, one to watch out for there. I don't know these teams quite well enough to know if they have either of those players. Still waiting for Lionspeed number 5.
Let's see how that's going.
Yep. Waiting for an update there. He's still rebooting. Okay. Running from spiders and rebooting. He has a computer from 1990. Okay. So he's running. He's apparently running on Windows 94. That would explain a lot.
I'm impressed he even got HOTS up and running in the first place with that.
Me as well. It's a matter of weeks at this point. Fantastic. Bodicus has pizza and is not sharing with the rest of us.
I had pizza for dinner, so I'm not that upset about it, but...
I'm trying to eat healthier, so I had shrimp and rice, and it wasn't nearly.
Well, I will say it was homemade pizza, so...
Oh, you know what? I saw it on your Twitter, your little homemade pizza dough.
I like to think that because it's homemade, it's healthier than getting it from delivery, but not quite sure how that works out.
Probably not accurate.
In my head, that's how it goes.
All right, so let's see. Ooh, they have the emoji is just for you, Born. The pineapple, the pizza with the pineapple on it.
Yuck. Get that out of here.
And I love pineapple, but like just pineapple. Not necessarily on the pizza, but just raw pineapple is so good.
Have you ever had it grilled?
I have. Yes.
Because I don't like it at all, but me and my husband were camping this past weekend, and someone brought an entire pineapple, and at one point they just sliced it into rings and threw it over the campfire and roasted it that way, and everyone thought it was like the greatest thing ever.
Yep, I've had it grilled too.
So
pineapple on a teriyaki burger.
Pass.
I'm digging that.
Yep.
Pineapple on a tropical drink. I would never order pineapple on a pizza, but if somebody handed me a slice, I would eat it.
Okay, fair enough.
Right. I mean, it's still pizza.
I mean, I'll think that way about most pizza toppings, but pineapple is where I draw the line for sure. It ruins everything it touches. I'm sorry.
I mean, there's just almost every other topping I would prefer. So I said I would never order it, but someone handed it to me. All right, how we doing? We're still waiting for Windows 94 to kick in, apparently. So
I don't know which one. Oh, go ahead.
I'm going to say, you know what I'm going to try to do? I'm going to do an Around the League. We're going to update everybody. So currently on Baja's channel in Division A, Regen Ghost tied with Gilly Shark, winning Game 2, 1-1. They are playing Game 3 as we speak.
Oh, they're trying to take one off of the top team in the division. It looks
100%.
like Gilly Shark sitting there pretty at number 1.
Yeah, but Regen Ghost getting up off the mat, picking up game number 2, forcing that decisive game number 3. Now, off to the side, we're going to check in with Division C East, Dive for Vision versus Save the Murloc. As soon as this Twitch ad ends, we can update our peeps. That is. All right, so Die for Vision up 1-0. See Die for Vision over Save the Murloc. Let's see what other games are on right now. We're going to delay here. Currently in progress, but probably with no results yet. The Real Ultimate Mosh Pit versus Buff Shen, BE, Swinky Face versus Boo Boo. That should be a good one. Regen Anomaly versus Wood League also. And probably where we will be hosting after this, Yikes Tier versus Archon, Heroic Division on Ziltoid's channel, starting in a little bit under an hour. So that should be a good one as well. And then we actually have another Heroic, Amazing versus Dread Pirates, casted by a channel I'm not familiar with, but Nexus Commentaries, question mark? Oh, Majesty, there we go. I just didn't know that. 8 people. Posters.
Looks like we might be getting Glaucus loading back in here. We might be hopefully set to go here soon.
Don't get my hopes up, Born. I still see pending.
You got to give Windows 94 just a little bit of time. It takes a little bit of extra waiting, but hopefully it'll work.
Womp, womp. They're going. All right. And, oh, now he's back, though. No pending. All right. Does that mean we can get this show on the road? All right, well, Glaucus is here, and he's sorry. We're getting potato emojis thrown at him. So digital potatoes thrown at Glaucus, and hopefully that means we can start. And here we go. Back to Alterac Pass. I assume the teams know to go ahead and match the first 2 bands again.
Well, if they don't, we'll call them out for it.
Or not, so this game will keep moving. Avatar, banned again, and I imagine ETC. All right, now we got a game.
Okay. And I think this is where it stopped, so, right?
Correct. Yeah, this is where it stopped.
Okay.
So
All right.
we've already made it further this time than last. There's the Zeratul ban. It's a good one. He's still, despite the increase in the length of time he has to stay in with the wormhole talent, Zeratul's still very strong. Worth noting, though, none of the targeted bans that I've seen in other matches levied at Apple Mike thus far.
Interesting. I'm not familiar with his hero pool, so I'm relying on you to tell me if there's a target ban.
There's two in particular that I'm waiting to see if they pop up.
The Anubrak ban I'm used to seeing. He's first ban material in almost every game I've been in.
Yeah, in Division B, he's still getting banned a lot, but not quite like he was last season. Anna is still very much banned, but up where I'm playing in Division B, oh, where you are too, actually, because you're on the other side of the coast, you darn East Coasters. First pick Falstad. I haven't seen that in a hot minute. But I'm seeing a lot of Anna, not quite as much Anubrak, and then a lot more targeted bans. Usually the bans after that are the ones that are they're scouted bans for the other team, or possibly map ban.
Yeah, for sure. Poor Anna not getting to see much play at all.
No. And rightly so.
Makes me sad. Makes me sad. Don't talk about Anna like that.
So there's the Jaina and the Anna.
Yay!
So we have a nano-boosted, icy veinsed Jaina. There's going to be ice everywhere.
Glad I get to cast a match with Anna in it. I was just complaining about not getting to see her or play her, so this is good. I'm excited.
Yep. We've been having a little bit of fun with Eye of Horus Samuro in like quick match. We're terrible people because of it.
Look, it's quick match. Everybody knows what they're getting themselves into with quick match.
Well, and we're losing a lot, so we need to do little things to make us feel better about ourselves. As we have Stukov and Thrall coming out for Lionspeed.
I've seen Stukov played quite a bit actually on Alterac Pass, like in Storm League and stuff, and the properly placed silences can be game changers around those points for sure.
Yep, 100%. I mean, I'm losing to a lot of different comps, I'll give you that. But just this week we were wrecked by a really well played Stukov. Those lurking arms, when they're used properly in the correct area, are absolutely oppressive. So a well-played Stukov, although he's kind of mid-tier, I would say, as a support. If you've got that guy that's just really good as a Stukov player, it's 100% worth a high pick.
Yeah. And I think for the most part, most heroes are in the right hands can be good, even if they're not considered one of the higher tiers. So you get someone who's strong with them and look out.
So Lionspeed, despite not having a tank yet, continue the tank choke. No ETC, no Anub, no Diablo. Kalthos also banned out by Sky5, and I think if they're going to play some of the different picks that Sky5 plays, this is where we'd see them. I point out to you, Born, the one player who has not selected a hero yet.
Apple Mike. We're still waiting on his pick, and I assume you haven't seen any of the target bans. I don't think the Diablo or the Kalthos were targeted against him specifically, correct?
That is, to my knowledge, that is correct. I love the Johanna Sylvanas, though. Sylvanas is A tier right now. She's so good.
Yep.
And Johanna is, like, I mean, kind of the gold standard of tanks. She's just always solid. There's the Medivh, and there's the Kidnap combo with Stitches coming out for Lionspeed. And now, what will we see? There's two heroes I have in mind, or is he going to throw something completely out of left field? They're thinking about it, and I think that's because Medivh does throw a wrinkle and stuff. Why I think this is taking so long. And that was the hero. Apple Mike plays about as aggressive of a Rhaegar as I have ever seen.
Now, is this an off-lane Rhaegar?
It's a wherever in the world he wants to be Rhaegar.
I like that. Okay.
Yeah, last week I casted them, and they played, I believe it was Regen Ghost. They picked up the 2-0. But it was a very close 2-0. In particular, game 2, Pearl and Apple Mike had 2 or 3 team fights where they escaped with like less than 150 health. So, wow. I mean, you had 2 or 3 team fights in the game that were literally decided by an auto attack here or like an auto attack there. It was really close. And Apple Mike just pushes that Rhaegar right to the limit. Now, with the Medivh, though, that's harder to do. The Devil's Portal is always waiting for you to have the Medivh pop in, throw out his Q, and leave. Mm-hmm. And that Q does more than 150 damage.
Well, and having his shield there, you know, even if Rhaegar's in the middle of things trying to be aggressive and get some of that damage out or throwing his W out, you know, some of that, a well-placed shield from Medivh will mitigate some of that.
So, no advantage gained. Oh, I was going to say due to portrait synergy, but Glaucus, those potatoes must have hit him a little harder than we thought because he didn't get the email in his Windows 94. The only person lacking portrait synergy sending the win to Sky5.
In his defense, it's the same hero, just a different version of the portrait. So I'll give him that. He tried.
I guess he didn't click change fast enough. I'm excited for this. This should be a really good set.
Absolutely. I'm excited too because it's my first cast for the season. So I'm glad to be here.
All right, that loading bar is almost full. Now it is. Welcome to Alterac Pass, the newest map, yes? For heroes.
So?
The blue team, Lionspeed, my former teammate on a Heroes Lounge team, Masterfish, Brawl, Glaucus on Falstad, Glaucus on Stukov. He was just too close to Starfox, who was on Falstad. Big Wiz is on Stitches, and Medivh doesn't have a name over his head when he's in bird form, but that is Devo on Medivh.
Over on the right, we have Apple Mike on Rhaegar, Spartacus on Johanna, Quanfington on Sylvanas, Alan by default on Anna, and Furl on Jaina.
And the name Alan by default cracks me up. So Rhaegar already in his assigned off-lane position, setting up for the one-man Wolf Boy Bush Squad. Now watch where the Falstad comes in here. I'm going to come up here and watch this because you're going to see how aggressive he gets.
I'm interested to see how that plays out because I've heard of him being used in off-lane situations, but I haven't seen that up close and personal. So,
I mean, he will win this if Star Fox lets him get in there. He's going to have the wolf bite and the shield, the lightning lightning shield, and self-sustain, which Falstad doesn't get till 7. Meanwhile, Sylvanas was in the bottom lane. She's now rotating up to the mercenaries. Johanna going to bot, where she is going to be met by Thrall, Medivh, Stitches, forced to pop the Iron Skin, and simply walk the other way. And then Spartacus eats the hook and the slam and continues to walk the other way.
That's what Johanna does. That's what she is best at. You can throw everything you have at her, and she'll just keep walking.
It reminds me of the Carbet video where she's walking and Diablo's like clinging to her leg like a little kid, and she's walking anyway. Great.
Yep.
So nice job by Sky5 prioritizing the camp. Sylvanas now coming up here to bully Falstad even more. Quan Finnegan and Rhaegar. Actually lied, just going to get the globe and be on her way.
Yeah, Star Fox has taken quite a bit of damage, already used his tap. Apple Mike showcasing that aggression you mentioned earlier already.
Well, and Rhaegar has the advantage if Falstad lets him get in there because of the self-sustain. Like, you can't trade. But speaking of getting in there, there's the oppressive lurking arm as Glaucus had a big one holding Jaina down. Furl sent back to the Hall of Storms. But still no move on the camp from Lionspeed until now.
Yep, looks like they're just getting on it.
And
speaking from experience, though, having the healer and the tank on it might take them a little while, but they'll get it out eventually.
Well, Stukov does have a real good auto attack, but the reason you want to get Potato Windows 94 strikes again. The reason you want to grab these camps right away is this reason. They waited too long. If you get them immediately on cooldown, they're actually ready for objective. 12 seconds until Sky5 can pick up their camp for a second time.
Yep.
And the camps in the mid lane on this map push really hard.
They are super strong on this map. You know, like you said, I'm a little surprised we haven't seen a higher priority on that from Lionspeed, but they did manage to get it out just now, and they've also captured the first bit of the objective.
Rhaegar soaking safely in the top, now rotating back down. We're going to meet Bigwig in the bush. Just run right by him. Apple mic on Rhaegar. He don't care. And now Sky5 stepping in to try to secure this jail one more time. Slam doesn't interrupt Quan Finnegan, but the hook does. Now everybody pressing their buttons. Another big lurking arm. There's Apple Mike biting with like no health and barely escaping as per usual. Big Wiz also limping away. Sky5 with this double support comp getting the better of this trade. And securing it with 0.1 seconds born!
I was just going to point that out. I was like, oh my gosh, 0.1 seconds. I have never seen an objective capped that close.
And clearly calculated.
Oh, yeah. 100% calculated. Oh, I'm getting stressed just looking at that countdown bar.
And this is one of those situations, right, by the way, where if you had a Samuro, you could never leave your thing.
Nope. You have to have someone there at all times with eyes on it.
Now, Lurking Arm now on cooldown as it was interrupted. We have a little bit of a scattered engagement. Star Fox and Thrall coming in on one flank. All of Sky5 is together. Hook does miss. Quan Finnegan putting the damage onto Big Wiz. Devo is unchanneling the objective successfully. Sky5 forced back an aggressive portal with the Blizzard right on top of it. Actually gets a lot of value. Nice job by Furl to zone away the portal.
Managing to dodge the hook too, but Quan Finnegan in a little bit of trouble there in that bush. Sky5 managing to turn it around. Falstad goes down. Lurking Arm not getting any value this time, but unfortunately Sylvanas falls as well. We're now 4 versus 4, and both teams kind of choosing to back off a little bit here.
Hook does miss. One thing that Stitches is pretty good at is he is a great meat shield. He can just kind of stand in there and get beaten up on and be okay.
Yep. But it looks like we've got the pings, people coming back in. It looks like Lionspeed is going to try and get this last 0.1 second here on their objective.
And now here comes Furl on the flank. Luckily that portal is there, otherwise Glaucus would have been in trouble with the Jaina coming in and all her abilities. But the fight over the first objective continues nearly 6 minutes into the game. Both teams right around level 8.
Yeah, and that's why I like the Johanna pick on this map, because sometimes the objectives can take a while. They get extended, you know, they drag out for long periods of time, and she can just go in and keep walking at you.
Yeah, and the flashlight, just like on Tomb, is so good at interrupting. Blaze, though, or I'm sorry, Big Wiz on Stitches, gonna go down.
Yep. Victim of the anti-healing from the Ana grenade.
100%, and also, kind of in the middle of all that, Alan by default hit a max range sleep arrow just in the nick of time that actually prevented the objective channel. It was as close as could be. So really nice play there by Alan by default. Furl going in YOLO. Knows he has 2 supports and he don't care. There's Apple Mike to secure the wolf bite and knocking Falstad out of the battle. Objective is secured by Sky5 as they continue to be aggressive onto the Medivh. Hook hits on Quan Finnegan, who walks away. Heals from Rhaegar and Ana, keeping all the red health bars pretty healthy. But Lionspeed trying to get in here one more time. Not in time, however.
And I'm sure that's frustrating to have 0.1 seconds left on the objective and just not be able to finish that cap. But well played. Well played by Sky5.
Yeah, and this is something I saw when I casted them last week, where I was kind of surprised in Game 2 that Regen didn't try to take away the double support. And they didn't adjust their draft. Now, I learned after the fact that's because Sky5 doesn't necessarily need the Ana for the double support. They'll kind of run it in a couple different ways. But they didn't target the Ana, they were targeted the Stukov. But this time they get the Ana. Level 10s are here. Ancestral, Wailing Arrow, Nano Boost, Ring of Frost, and Blessed Shield for Sky5.
All what I would have expected. And they're all choosing to push together in one lane. They've already took down the bot fort. Now they're pressuring bot keep. Objective still at about half health here. Ring of Frost comes out, and unfortunately, both Stukov and Medivh go down. Lionspeed doing their best to try and defend here, but it looks like Sky5 might actually take this keep at less than 10 minutes into the game, at about just after 8 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, that's what happens when you have a Sylvanas and an objective. You just shove it down a lane, and they're going to get first keep here 8 minutes into the game. Hook does miss, but a really great Ring of Frost there by Furl. And also Spartacus on the Johanna using the Blessed Shield and the Condemned to set that up. Now they're moving straight to boss. Medivh and company are coming, and the retreat pings come out. Nice call there by Sky5. Heroics are up. We have Sunder, Gust, Leyline Seal, Flailing Swipe, and Gorge. And it's very hard to bush when you have a Medivh on the other side.
Yeah, you're going to get spotted, but both teams still going in on the engage here. We do see Leyline Seal coming out, only catching 2 members of Sky5, and it looks like Lionspeed is going to try and just cut their losses and walk away here without getting any more kills over to the side of Sky5.
Yeah, and that was a real nice gust, too, by Star Fox. Probably saved Big Wiz from going down.
Yep.
But Sky5 still kind of hanging out and sort of threatening boss.
I think they're just trying to hang around and make sure that Sky5 doesn't take that boss and continue to pressure top lane. They're going to unfortunately have to keep an eye on that top lane for the rest of the game because they no longer have a keep there. And at this early in the game, like we mentioned, that's going to be something, definitely a negative in their favor, something they're going to have against them.
Yeah, but one of the things, if you're Lionspeed here, when you have a Medivh, you actually don't need to keep everyone up here. You almost just have to keep a Medivh following Johanna around, and they're not going to take the boss basically without Johanna. So you can send the rest of the team to do other stuff while you just have Medivh do annoying bird things.
True.
Now, Alan by default needs to be careful. This is a hook gorge, and Big Wiz is looking for it. There's the hook. Doesn't land. Camp
Dodge.
Once again secured by Sky5.
Yeah, they've definitely been prioritizing that camp more so than Lionspeed. Theirs is still uncaptured for this objective.
So they're going to have Katas pushing in the top lane. They have Mercenaries pushing in the middle lane. They're about to have level 13s. Medivh does get put to sleep, but he is able to channel for now. Now Sky5 stepping in with talent tier advantage. But surprisingly, Lionspeed is trying to hold firm on the objective.
Yeah, we got a little bit of a flank by Johanna and Rhaegar here on the left, so it looks like Sky5 coming in with the big Ring of Frost. Medivh goes down almost instantly. Stukov throwing down that silence, but it's not quite enough. Stitches falls as well, and now Glaucus getting caught. He goes down too. That is 3-0 in favor of Sky5, and they're just going to waltz right in and take that objective for themselves.
And the siege camp as well, and that's the second big team fight in a row where we have seen Spartacus and Furl combine for a big Ring of Frost setup with the Johanna Condemn. Spartacus kind of just walked into the middle of Lionspeed and hit a huge 4-man Condemn and put that Ring of Frost really on a platter for Furl.
Yeah, we're seeing great teamwork from Sky5. Great setup between the members, so it's definitely showing here.
Yeah, and one of the things that I talked about with Apple Mike in the post-game interview last week is, or maybe this was Spartacus off to the side, is they thought that their synergy actually wasn't good, and they felt like it could be better. So if this isn't good, man, Division A, beware when these guys hit their stride. Holy moly.
Yeah, if this isn't good, I'd hate to see what their best synergy is. Wow.
And meanwhile, top lane, and that's going to really start piling up. Now, this is one of the maps where you can actually take some core damage and it will heal up. So you have a little bit of wiggle room there.
And they still have 2 keeps remaining, so there still is, that extra armor on core. So they might not have to be too concerned just yet. But they've already lost a fort in mid, So they're going to have to keep an eye and watch the keep pressure building there.
And there's a big engaged ley line saving Star Fox on the fall stab. They tried to get the counter kill on Apple Mike, but the Ancestral goes out anyway. Ring of Frost only hits Stitches, who has managed to gorge Sylv. Nap time from a Div, but Sylvanas is the first to go down. Counter kill onto the Stitches as well. A 1-for-1 in a brawl that never seems to end. Spartacus very low life, but really doing a nice job is Anna to keep him up, but Rhaegar is actually killed on the backside, and this is going to be the first team fight loss for Sky5, falling 3-1.
Yep, and it looks like they're choosing to back out here. Not going to take any more deaths, going to wait for everybody to come back up, but if Lionspeed takes this objective here, they might get it completely, and Sky5 will just have to defend for this round.
Yeah, they're definitely going to get it. The only problem if you're Lionspeed is look at the lanes. Top is basically going to get no value. Mid is going to take a little while to push up. The only place they're going to really be able to push it initially is bottom. So let's watch to see where Sky5 chooses to defend. And Born, look where they're going.
They are going right to bot. You know, they recognize, like you said, that that's going to be the only place that Lionspeed can really get true value. So I definitely think them capping this objective was more about preventing Sky5 from getting it than getting too much of their own advantage here, unfortunately.
The Lionspeed opting, instead of trying to get some structure damage, they're opting to try to maximize soak as much as possible. Bottom cavalry goes down with basically no damage done. Meanwhile, mid fort will go down as Stukov and Thrall pushed it in, but now Stukov is in trouble, caught by the members of Sky5, but there's a big sundering and a ley line seal. Ring of Frost used defensively. Wailing Arrow on the Medivh, Wolf Bite, down goes Medivh. That looked good for Sky5, then good for Lionspeed, then good for Sky5 again very quickly.
Very back and forth, and we saw Apple Mike trying to go in on Glaucus on the Stukov, but decided to back out. I guess he saw too many of the other members of Lionspeed hanging out. So Sky5 deciding just to finish defending and preventing top fort from going down. So they only lost one structure on this round. Just one fort there in mid.
And Deja Vu Born, as soon as the cavalry is dead, Sky5 going straight to the boss, and Lionspeed recognizing it and coming here to defend. But now this boss is about half health. Hook onto Johanna, immediately pops the Iron Skin, and it looks like this fight will happen. However, Gust is here for Star Fox, and they're really zoning him out. There's the Gust early, with Apple Mike on the backside, body blocking by himself as Rhaegar. Then Furl comes in on the Johanna, drops a bunch of damage. Thrall isolated out and killed. Stukov as well. Apple Mike, he don't care.
I can tell you right now, I did not think that little fight there on the side was going to go the way it did. I was like, well, the self-ancestral will prolong the inevitable, but Rhaegar is done for this world, and Apple Mike proved me wrong.
And not only that, he's at full health right now, Born.
Yeah, just hanging out, casually Rhaegar things. That was impressive.
Now that
No
requires
deaths on the side of Sky5.
Yeah, and that did require, of course, Furl to back up Rhaegar's play, right? If Furl doesn't step in there and dump all of that Jaina damage, Rhaegar is 100% toast. But really nice job by Sky5 of those guys being on the same page and backing each other's play, even if it's a little bit YOLO. But great play there by Furl and Apple Mike and the rest of the squad to step in and complete the pincher movement.
And now they're choosing to go to bot lane and capture the boss here. Well, they know that Lionspeed is in top, trying to prevent that boss from getting onto the core. So they're going to take this without any sort of challenge and probably move on up to objective, which has just spawned again.
Yeah, I really hope somebody clips that Rhaegar flank, by the way. I want to see that on Edge.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So bottom boss secured by Sky5. Now, Lionspeed will be forced to make a decision. Are they going to go to the objective? Are they going to burn the boss? Looks like they're opting to burn the boss and get their mid-camp, which was a nice little play as well. And this objective is a long capture.
Yeah, I was going to say, this late in the game, you can afford to take the time to do those things. They've got 50 seconds on objective, so if they clear the boss quickly, they can get up there with plenty of time. And it looks like they're choosing to leave boss at just below half health to continue pushing as they move up to try and hopefully stop the objective.
He almost got out. He actually got hooked,
Yeah.
gorged, gusted, sundered, and still almost made it. But now Anna goes down as well. So great play by Big Wiz to land the hook on Apple Mike. And that really set up a 3-for-0 as Lionspeed roaring back and hitting the pause button as Windows 94 strikes again.
Dang it, Windows 94.
This is quite a game here. Right when you thought Lionspeed had their backs against the wall, they're now on the verge of securing back-to-back objectives.
Oh, looks like
Now we got the R.
ready. Windows 94 is back. It just, needed a little bit of a break after
Needed a
that
breather.
super huge team fight. Yeah. But ready to handle things again.
But those 3 kills, Born, will secure the objective.
Those were absolutely huge. And again, third objective, we're later in the game. If played right, this could potentially turn the tides a little bit into Lionspeed's favor.
All right, so let's get back into game here. There we go. So there's the objective secured. They're going to need to channel this for the full 50 seconds, but with Sylv not up for 45, Furl and Spartacus need to get out of here. They can't be here for this. Nice camp invade. Hook doesn't hit on the Furl. Spartacus throws a flashlight at him just in frustration.
But I think they definitely made the right decision there. That camp is not worth them dying as well. They're going to need everybody up to defend against this objective. So, take the time, defend against the camp, wait for your teammates to come back. Definitely the smart play here.
Yep, and maximize as much soak as you can safely, as Sky5 on the verge of 20 as well.
Yeah, both teams almost even.
Oh no, Jaina, don't check the bush, Jaina. Don't do it.
Oh, what face checking?
Both sides up, 5-on-5. Objective secured by Lionspeed. And this time it will be mid lane. Is the lane they choose to push, as it is the farthest shoved out 20s.
Yep.
Oh, so close for Sky5. Hook! Right onto the Sylvanas. There's the Gorge. We're going to see a Gust as well to isolate out the Sylv. There it is. Yep. There's the self-cleanse. Sunder misses. Quan Finnegan is going to get away on the backside. Ring of Frost also gets nobody, but everything else does. Thrall, Stukov go down. Quan Finnegan casually rejoins his team from the other side.
Saved by the Ana for sure. That healing grenade went out. Like we mentioned before, you can do this. Your teammates have your back, and Quan Finnegan knew Ana was there, keeping up the heals, and he was able, like you said, just walk in casually, rejoin the team. No big deal.
And I'm not sure if that was a self cleanse or a Rhaegar didn't take cleanse, but right after coming out of the gorge, Sylvanas had an unstoppable status on her, and that really sealed the deal. And then the Sunder just missed.
Yeah, the unstoppable is from the Sylvanas, level 16 talent, Will of the Forsaken.
Just in time. So no advantage gained from the hard-fought objective. Both teams at level 20. Yeah, only 5 keeps left on the board. This is anybody's game.
Yep. It was a little bit unfortunate that Lionspeed wasn't able to capitalize on that more, but like you said, the playing field has evened out considerably now, so more even footing here. And we see Sky5 heading top lane here, starting to posture at boss, which is going to be up in 8 seconds.
They are hiding in the bushes, but if Medivh is on his game, that really shouldn't matter. So nobody who's not Medivh needs to check these bushes. Medivh, check the bushes. There you go. Now they've all been spotted. The jig is up. Posturing around the bush. Hook goes down. Spartacus stepping in. Lionspeed stepping back. All heroics, though, are up.
So if these teams do end up engaging here, the outcome of this team fight could decide the entire game.
Should decide.
Should, yes, you're right. Should. But it looks like Sky5 deciding, you know what, no thanks, we're just going to head down and try and take objective.
And then they realized, Sky5 did, that they're just going to take boss, and they're running back up here. It's going to be close, but Gust is up. I don't think they can get on this.
I don't think so either. I think it's just going to be slightly too late. Johanna walking onto the point.
Oh my god.
Trina landing another huge ring of frost. 3 members of Lionspeed down almost instantly. Big Wiz sticking around, taking a lot of damage. Looking like he might make it out because of those Medivh portals.
So
oh my gosh.
Sky5, knowing that gust was coming, as Falstad goes down, game 1 to end here very shortly. Boss did actually go over to Lionspeed, but knowing that gust was up, they actually came from 2 different directions, and Spoticus preemptively popped Ironskin, walked onto the point, pressed his buttons, and once again set up that Ring of Frost beautifully by Spoticus setting up Furl, and down goes game number 1, a very entertaining game number 1, over to Sky5.
Yep, I mean, the Johanna value is real. Like I said, she can just walk at you, pop that unstoppable, and say, hey, I'm here to stay. There's no getting rid of me. And even though, like you said, Lionspeed took that boss, it wasn't worth it. You know, all 5 members went down, and Sky5 was able to take the victory.
So that was a fun game.
That was a great first game back into casting for me. That was a lot of fun, very entertaining to watch. And at the end there, you know, it could have been either team's game.
So I always like asking, after game 1, if you're the team captains, who earned the target bans in game 2? Who don't you want to see if you're these team captains in game 2?
If I'm Lionspeed, I don't want to see Johanna. If I had to pick one. Rhaegar, you know, special mention to Apple Mike on Rhaegar, but like you said, Johanna just Spoticus set up so many of those plays. You know, Jaina was able to hit so many of those big rings because of the setup. So I'd be looking to maybe target that Johanna.
What about on the other side? Did anybody on Lionspeed really stand out to where you just don't want to see that hero again?
Um, I have to give credit to Stukov. There were some great silences. Um, but I think Medivh maybe would be my target. There were a lot of well placed portals. Able bird form able to deny some boss takes or some plays from Sky5. So I think taking out the Medivh value would be a big thing for me personally.
Yeah, and Medivh is also one of those heroes. If you know the other team has a player who can play Medivh well, you have to strongly consider a ban because of everything. And I can tell you, as a tank player, maybe the most annoying thing in the game is having that bird constantly over your head, looking down at you, and you can't really do anything about it.
Anything.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's really aggravating.
You can't do anything, and you can't do anything about it either.
That's right. So we're going to take about a 30-second break. We're going to play the patron bumper while these teams figure out where they're going to go. Be right back. All right, Born. Well, we're back after a quick little break there. And looks like we're going to Tomb of the Spider Queen for game number 2. Choice of Lionspeed, so they're opting for map pick here, coming off the loss.
Took map pick, and Tomb of the Spider Queen is probably one of my favorite maps. Not sure why, I enjoy playing it. You know, it's a little bit of a smaller map, so it forces those engages. Um, And I always just find it really satisfying to pick up and turn in those gems for some reason.
Yeah, there's, in my opinion, there's two things about Tomb that make it, that set it apart from the other maps. Is one, it's a 3-lane map that's small. There's no other small 3-lane map. The lanes are really close together. And also, the objective is the weakest objective in the game at ending the game, probably. Most games end off of either a boss play or just a wipe and a walk to core. A lot of times it's not the objective that is the leverage to win the game. Most objectives, though, you get them late game, they're strong enough to end the game. Right? You get the Immortal or the Punisher post level 20. Those things just absolutely wreck, but not this case here on Tomb.
No, it forces teams to, like you said, make smart decisions, calls for boss, get that one, golden engage and wipe the team so they can head to core safely. Like I said, I've always just enjoyed that element of it.
So looks like we're waiting on Windows 94 again. Laucus is the only one who has yet to join us.
And it looks like I'm currently hanging out on.
You will be playing on Lionspeed, and
in his
Masterfish
place.
will be co-casting, but not in comms.
Oh, yep. Looks like we have another Windows 94 DC.
But that was a really fun back and forth game. Every time it looked like Sky5 might grab hold of that game, Lionspeed made something happen. So they were never ever out of it. And right up until that boss wipe at the end, they were in just as good of a position to win as Sky5 was, despite a little bit of a kill discrepancy.
Yeah. Like you said, it could have been towards the end of the game. It could have been either team's game. It definitely wasn't, a complete shutout on either side. And as a caster, that always makes it more exciting and more entertaining to cast. So I'm hoping we'll see the same from these teams this game. The same kind of back and forth, and whose game is it going to be? Just for the entertainment value.
Yeah, and I think we had like 3 possible plays of the game. The Escape by Quan Finnegan, using the what the heck talent is it on? Will of the Forsaken on Sylvanas to get herself out of Stitch's belly and escape barely. Then you had the Rhaegar solo 1v5 flanking body block.
That would be my nomination personally.
And then there was the flanking Johanna to set up the team wipe on the boss.
Yes. We saw some excellent plays, for sure.
But I've been casting amateur games since Chair League Season 2. So that's Chair League Season 2, 3, 4, 5, NGS Season 4, 5, 6, now 7. I have never seen... Oh, and I've played on teams, multiple teams that entire time, actually since Season 1. I have never seen a Rhaegar flank the other team by himself and literally stand there and hold them in place for Jaina to drop all her stuff.
I've never seen that either. I mean, I don't have quite as much time with casting and playing as you, but I've never seen that either. I could tell you all the times that I have waltzed into the enemy team as Rhaegar by myself. It's never turned out that well.
No, never ends that way for me either.
No. So major props to Apple Mike for that, definitely. That gets my vote for play of the game, and I hope someone clips that.
Yeah, it was just absolutely bananas. The element of surprise is real. What is he do? Oh my god, we're dead.
And I'm sure maybe that had something to do with it too. I mean, I don't know, if I had a Rhaegar just waltz into my entire team, I'd be pretty shocked, pretty stunned too. It might take me a second to react to that.
All right, well, Still waiting for the dial-up to kick in. He said he needs 2 minutes. Okay, well, if he needs 2 minutes, I'm going to put on the BRB screen and some music so I feed my cat so you don't hear a demanding feline in the background. So we'll be back in just a couple minutes. We are back. Hopefully, just in time for Apple Mike, who is the host, to press that beautiful start game button. Yay!
All right, looks like we are in. Everybody's here. Windows 94 has cooperated, and we're ready to go.
For now.
Well, hopefully we can get through an entire game without any issues.
That would be glorious. First ban Sylvanas coming out by Lionspeed. They did have the Sylv last game. It was very effective. And we asked what were the adjustments, and that's the adjustment. Sylv first ban followed by ETC.
She's super strong. You're pushing with the spiders, and she turns off, a keep or a fort. You can definitely up your value from that, especially in the late game. You mentioned the objective isn't necessarily super strong on its own, but you pair objective and Sylvanas, and there you go.
Followed up by the Zeratul ban one more time. This time, this ban, Sky5 taking a little bit longer to decide.
They took the ETC ban first again, and now I bet we're going to see a targeted ban. Wouldn't be surprised. Oh,
Nope. Continuing the tank choke.
Yep, making me eat my words there. So
Anna is up and available. If that is something you want to take out of the toolbox, it was very effective last game. Sky5 likes to run the double support. Anna is arguably the best support with double support, and that is why Glaucus will first pick Anna.
There we go. I'm a little surprised we didn't see the Rhaegar ban coming out maybe.
Yeah.
Targeting Apple Mike there. But yeah, this is true. We still have one more round of bans.
Now, last time I casted these guys in a similar spot, they ripped double support right here, and they do it with Stukov, was going to be the next words out of my mouth. Kael'thas Stukov selected by Sky5. Now 2 selections for Lionspeed.
Yep. Kael'thas is good on this map. He provides a lot of wave clear, so you can collect those gems and move from lane to lane. Keep up your soaking. And like I said, Stukov works well with double support too. And we see Diablo and Jaina picked up by Lionspeed, so denying Sky5 that Jaina, even though they had already picked Kael'thas.
Yeah, and last game, the mid ban for Sky5 was Diablo, if I recall. So taking that before they have the chance to ban it out, and then taking the Jaina as well, both because she's good and as a soft deny. Ban on the Hanzo. Now let's see if Lionspeed is going to try to deny the double support comp. No.
Oh, they're going to go with Garrosh. I mean, I can understand not wanting to face Garrosh, but they might be opening up the door here for Spartacus to get on that Johanna again. And like I said, that was my personal pick for the target ban last round. So this is another map where Johanna can really shine.
Yeah, the Garrosh ban is because Garrosh is a little bit of a counter to Diablo. Diablo charges in, and Diablo just flings him back, and he's kind of in a lot of trouble, right? But you'll notice one hero, or one player, has not selected a hero yet.
Yep, we're going to see Spartacus on the Johanna once again, and Apple Mike holding his pick until last, so we might see that Rhaegar, that offlane...
Or his other pick that was target banned last week.
Which I haven't gotten to see yet.
No, nor have I, but I've heard rumors and whispers, although I don't think he'll pick it into Varian. So the Varian might scare him back onto Rhaegar.
We'll have to wait and see. And if he does go Rhaegar again here, you'll have to tell me what his other hero pick is, so that I'm not left waiting in suspense forever.
Well, what I was told, there it is.
Okay. All right.
So I was theorizing that a taunt Varian might keep him from picking Tracer.
Tracer, yeah.
Right, yeah, taunt Varian into the Jaina could definitely be problematic.
Absolutely.
Last week they target banned the Tracer away from Apple Mike a couple times. Haven't seen it yet, but I've heard legends and whispers that he's a very good Tracer player. I jested last week that because he didn't get to play Tracer, he responded by picking Rhaegar and playing Rhaegar like Tracer.
Well, I'm going to be interested to see how he does here, because like you said, Tracer into Varian, usually don't see that too much. especially with Barry and Jaina, the taunt and the blow up is real there, and Stukov does not have a cleanse. I would maybe if you had a healer who had a cleanse, Uther, Lily, something, you wouldn't be as scared. But Apple Mike seems confident that the Barry and Jaina isn't going to be too much of a problem.
Yeah, and he actually has to not only be aware of taunt variant, assuming that's what Big Wig goes, but Diablo, the slam into the wall, does a fair amount of damage, especially on squishy heroes, and the range is pretty generous, so he has to be aware of taunt variant, and he also has to be aware of not letting Diablo, slam him into the nearest wall, so definitely going to need to mind his P's and Q's, but as we saw in Game 1, he's not afraid of being aggressive, getting in there and mixing it up.
For sure, for sure. And this is a map too, like you mentioned, watching out those Diablo wall bangs. There are a lot of walls
There
and a lot
are.
of little choke points, especially around these objectives here. So, like you said, lots of P's and Q's minding here. Tracer, obviously as a hero, Apple Mike is confident with, but just gotta play it carefully, I would think.
Yeah, and not just are there a lot of walls for Diablo to proc the stun on, but on Tomb, which is the small 3-lane map that we were discussing, in the 4-man rotation double lanes, he actually gets souls really quickly as well. It allows him to get up to souls very fast. So something to watch for there as well. Game number 2, Division A. On the left, we have Windows 95 DCing and rejoining. Glaucus on Anna, Starfox on Jaina, Devo on Junkrat, Masterfish on Diablo, Big Wiz on Varian.
And over on the right on Sky5, we have the B-stepping Spoticus on Johanna again. We have Apple Mike on Tracer, Quan Finnegan on Sonya, Alan by default on Stukov, and Furl on Kael'thas.
So Furl switching from the Ice Mage to the Fire Mage. Taunt coming out by Big Wiz, and he gets a little living bomb for his troubles.
Both teams kind of posturing a little bit here. We see the sprays coming out, the taunts, but
Masterfish really
too hard.
Yeah, Masterfish really putting the hurting on that minion there with the
That also makes me think of Carbot, the little cartoon where all the minions just keep going out and dying, and poor Jimmy's trying to.
Hey, man.
Yeah,
Let's
he's trying to
get
get them to do their best. Yeah. Wallbang coming out on the Johanna, who's able just to walk away. Starfox eating a lot of damage and does end up giving first blood to Sky5.
Absolutely.
Ice Mage ate a little too much fire there from the Kael'thas.
Now first blood going over to Sky5 with Furl on the Kael'thas actually picking up the kill on Jaina. Sonya, similar to last game, on the camps immediately for Sky5. No corresponding move from Lionspeed quite yet.
I don't think it's as necessary to pick up the bruisers right away on this map, but I do like seeing that from Sky5.
Yep, and not just that, but with the Kael'thas Johanna really enables really fast rotations between these waves, so
absolutely.
With Lionspeed falling behind in that department, Tracer went to pick up the bottom lane. Sonya now coming back down. Tracer will come up, I assume. And no, instead, Tracer will get the kill onto the Varian with the Pulse Bomb behind the wall, so 2 unanswered kills. About a full level lead almost born 2 minutes into the game for Sky5. That's pretty impressive.
It is, and we're already seeing Apple Mike on Tracer making those aggressive plays like you mentioned. Took tower shots and bought there while securing the kill on Varian and was able to recall out thankfully, but almost didn't make it, left with about a quarter health there. So 2 kills, like you said, so far unanswered, and Sky5 pulling ahead in the soaking department. Wall banging Johanna again.
Yeah, not the ideal target.
No.
Taunt Varian is on board now, wasn't before, so we'll see if that makes any kind of difference. And Varian now, worth noting, not in the solo lane. They're leaving Junkrat down there. Big Wiz now with his team, but taking a lot of damage.
Those Kael'thas bombs, the damage there is real. Diablo diving in to get the wallbang on Tracer, or the flip on Tracer, excuse me, but team really wasn't there to capitalize on that. So nothing came of it, unfortunately.
I think he was trying to bring Tracer close enough to eat the taunt, but it wasn't quite there.
No, but still early in the game. You know, there are going to be plenty more opportunities.
So bottom, Apple Mike allowing Quan Finnegan to get in. Nope, just kidding. They will get the turn in somewhere else, but 3 minutes and 30 seconds into the game, first turn in over to Sky5.
Yep, they were able to get their gems in here, and we'll see how this goes. Now, first objective typically doesn't get too much done just because it is so early in the game, but we'll see. It looks like both teams are heading top here. That's typically the lane you prioritize on this map.
Now, Born, I, as a caster, do not talk about talents too much outside of heroics. There's almost, 90 heroes in the game? I don't know enough of them to go after builds much. But
they're with you.
But if you talk about a confident Tracer going into a variant, I bring your attention to Tracer's level 4 talent, which is untouchable. If you want to be a confident Tracer, take Untouchable into Taunt variant.
I mean, so far seems to be working out. Sky5 getting another kill on Jaina there in that fight.
Yeah,
and still no kills on the side of Lionspeed, so they're doing pretty well for themselves.
Totally, they're almost a full level up, and the reason you just don't see the Untouchable much is it's so all or nothing, right? It kind of feels like a win more talent. If you're stacking it, you're probably already winning anyway, and then you're even more oppressive, and if you die, you get zero value out of it, right? Which always feels bad. But Apple Mike is feeling it, able to juke the concussion mine and not jump over the wall, unlike poor Quan Finnegan there.
Sonya's able to make it out, though. It took a little bit of damage, but nothing life-threatening. Sky5 moving into this camp on bot here, and it looks like Lionspeed going in as well, trying to get an engage on them. Managing to chase them off the point for now. Quan Finnegan going in, getting flipped by the Diablo, taunted by the Varian. Makes it out with just a little bit of health. A big silence down from Stukov. Pulse bomb on Varian, and again, he goes down to, I was going to say to Tracer, but it looks like Johanna actually gets the credit for that kill there.
Yeah, it's still a stack, though, on Untouchable. I want to watch something, Born, because I noticed it in that engagement. Watch Apple Mike and what he does when he sees Taunt. So Taunt was actually used on Sonya there. And as soon as the Taunt went down, you could, see the aggression-o-meter on Tracer, go up. It was noticeable, as Apple Mike does eat a concussion mine, eat some tower shots, but they still get the kill on Diablo.
That was a perfectly placed silence by Alan by default there. You know, kept Diablo from escaping, from using anything else, and he went down and lost a huge chunk of their gems.
Yeah, and I didn't actually get to see Alan by default play Stukov last week because it was target banned both games, so we're kind of seeing why a little bit. Level 10s are here, Sky5 getting aggressive, so much so that they're going to catch Anna out under her own fort, take her down, take the bruiser camp, take the lunch money, all of the things going over to Sky5. We have Quantum Spike, Leap on Sonya, Flailing Swipe for Stukov, Phoenix, and Blessed Shield for Sky5.
And we saw Blessed Shield used again in that engage on the camp there. Johanna setting up for that kill. You know, Blessed Shield comes out and Tracer is able to go in and do her thing.
And now they think they have another kill, trying to get Apple Mike stacks. Not only does it give him another Untouchable stack, that's 19 gems on the ground. Glaucus is going to get about half of them, maybe. And immediately on to the boss is Sky5. Lionspeed currently in damage control.
Yep. Ult's picked up on their side. We see Ring of Frost from the Jaina, Riptire from Junkrat. Shield, well, Varian already has his heroic. Apocalypse from Diablo, and Anna's still waiting to pick hers, but I'd be surprised if we didn't see the nano boost for the Jaina.
Yeah, for the Kael'thas, but yeah. Blessed Shield, though, just misses, and that's enough to keep Glaucus up. And we haven't had a chance yet, but here's our chance to give Spartacus a hard time for the missed Blessed Shield, by the way.
Whiff.
Yeah, that's our one, unfortunately.
Yeah. Haven't had anything else really to rag on him for
And
so
not
far.
so much. Riptire does go out, not a lot of value, but Leap onto Junkrat gets plenty of value, securing the kill. Now using the boss to once again in back-to-back games targeting an early keep, but Ring of Frost catches two. If Tracer goes down, this is huge. Apple Mike finally able to blink away despite getting caught in the Ring of Frost. Spartacus not so lucky, but the keep is going to go down. Blue Web Weavers, meanwhile, were actually cashed in and pushing in these other lanes while Sky5 was pushing in top.
Unfortunately, top lane pushed out too far to really get any value. It looks like mid is going to get cleared fairly quick here. Jaina goes down once again. Bot seems to be the only one getting a little bit of value in this phase here.
Yeah, and you'll notice once again, Born, right in that middle fight, as soon as Varian used Taunt on anybody other than Tracer, he just went right into the middle of everything.
Yeah, that's excellent awareness on the part of Apple Mike. Definitely, like we said, knows how to play Tracer. Always recalling and getting out of all these sticky situations with just about a quarter health. I know as a support main that would stress me out, but
not so much there.
Oh, and that's the danger with Riptire. You can't recall out of that. It gets blown up too fast in your face, unfortunately. So they're not getting the kill onto Varian.
So they do get the kill on the Tracer, resetting the untouchable stacks, but they pay for it with Anna and Varian. Maybe worth it? Question mark. He was up to like 8 or 9.
Yeah. So, I mean, overall, the number of kills still in favor of Sky5. I will use this opportunity to give Spartacus some grief again. How does it feel to have been the first kill of the game for your team?
Our friend Spartacus, he's a great guy.
Yes, great guy. I'm really enjoying the chance getting to cast him, but like I said, gotta give him just a little bit of grief here.
Not too much, though, as they got another Web Weaver turn-in. All of the Sky5 structures are up, although this bottom one may go down to this minion wave. It's going to be close.
Yeah. They don't appear to be too concerned about that, though. Already posturing in mid to pressure and maybe take down another keep if they can. Bot lane not pushed out too far, so they Lionspeed doesn't have to worry about that too much yet. Definitely going to need to focus their attention here in mid.
So pushing hard in the mid lane, aiming for another keep. Really pushing Sky5 or Lionspeed back on their heels. There's the taunt.
There's taunt.
Apple Mike forced to move out of Apoc's way. Ring of Frost catches two. Here's the Riptire to go in on the Ring of Frost. Quan Finnegan gets chunked, but still alive. Phoenix zoning out the rest of Sky5. A nice play by Star Fox, putting the damage out, forcing Sky5 to retreat. Now they will move into bottom lane and mop up the remnants of this fort, which probably would have gone down anyway. But a good keep defense there by Lionspeed, not giving that up.
That was excellent. I mean, that keep, the walls and towers are down in front, but that keep took hardly any damage, still standing strong there. So now they do, though, have to respond to that bot pressure. Spartacus getting flipped over the wall by Diablo. Thankfully, Quan Finnegan getting that bot wall down. Taunt coming out, no follow-up, however. Waiting for Tracer to go in now that Taunt is down, but it looks like Web Weaver's almost dead, so Sky5 is going to have to back out here.
No Medivh to scout this bush, though, this time.
No, and they are up a talent here.
Now, Furl has to act like he's rotating away because the minions are there. And then he goes back. I think the minions would have saw that, though. Bye, Anna!
So, too, but...
There's the leap. There goes Anna, caught in the silence.
Ooh.
Big Wiz now in trouble as well. Down he goes. This time, Sky5 will get the keep that they want. Iron Skin used to tank it, and down goes bot keep.
Yep. Once again, excellent coordination and plays on the side of Sky5. We saw the patience. They waited in the bush there, saw their opportunity for a kill. the leap blow up was real. It was all there. Like I said, they may have didn't think last game, like you mentioned, they didn't have all the coordination or the teamwork there, but it definitely looks like they are on point this week.
Yeah, I'm really surprised Lionspeed, maybe the vision wasn't as generous as I would have thought, because I thought for sure Kael'thas would have been spotted by those minions. And given the surprise party away, up 3 levels, Sky5 gonna casually meander onto the boss. And man, I don't know. This is a really rough spot for Lionspeed. They gotta decide if this is something that they have to take.
Because they're down a talent tier. Like I said, they're down 3 levels, but looks like they are going to take this engage, but a big silence going out, Riptire going out as well. Glaucus falling a little low, but Ana managing to sneak out for now. Nope, the leap goes out once again. The damage from Tracer. Diablo getting pulse bombed, also falling. That is 3 kills for none in favor of Sky5. So unfortunately for Lionspeed, that engage did not work out. You know, they felt that was their one chance, but you know, down to talent tier, it can be a huge disadvantage.
Yeah, I think they were thinking if they get boss, the game is going to be over anyway, so we may as well try to make our stand. Shields going down, but the death timer's still pretty low. Spartacus also pretty low. All members of Lionspeed are now up and able to defend, but it is going to be too little, too late. Spartacus does fall, but so does Blue's Core, and a 2-0 domination in favor of Sky5.
Excellent plays by Sky5 in both games. Yep, that was a fun series. It was great to watch.
We'll see if we can get one of those guys in for a little chat. Right, there's the stats for anybody who's interested. So this game did go a long way to explain why when I casted Sky5 last week, Tracer and Stukov were banned.
I can definitely see why those 2 heroes would be target banned. I would also probably target out Rhaegar, but
Go ahead, go back to this screen. We'll see if Alright, so waiting for one of those guys to respond to that. In the meantime, going to go after. Oh, we're gonna have to switch lobbies, Born, because Apple Mike is too fast for us. He is in a lobby.
all right, I will hop over there.
The man, the myth, the legend, Apple Mike. How's it going, man?
It goes well.
So I had a chance. I don't think it was in the interview I had with you last week, because now you're stuck with me for 2 weeks in a row. I think I was actually chatting with Spartacus off to the side. He said, I believe, that you guys felt like your synergy wasn't quite there. How you guys feeling? Because that looked pretty good.
Yeah, it's definitely coming along. Every game, I feel like we get a little bit better with it. And I know that sounds normal, but I mean, all last season, we kind of never got our synergy all season together. So it's not always guaranteed that time equals progress. But in this case, I feel like it does.
So, game 1, kind of take us through how that went there, and specifically, what were your comms like when you simply decided to run around the back of their whole team and just kind of hold them in one spot as Rhaegar?
So, I'm glad you noticed.
I did.
We definitely noticed.
Yeah, I like to use the body a little bit, and it's funny because I didn't know what body blocking was when someone first mentioned it, a couple of years ago. it's really strong to have the ability to, kind of do a nice tandem with the tank. And because I have that movement speed, I can kind of slow them up so that everyone else can get back in range for additional follow up. And as the shot caller, it makes it a little bit easier because I can kind of, dictate the tempo and dictate when we can continue versus having to back off.
Yeah, and that was really dependent on Furl running up behind you and just dropping all that damage on it. How does that call go when you guys do that? Like, what does it sound like in the game?
Yeah, I'd have to think of the exact moments, but in general, something that's really helpful. Furl and I have been playing together since the game came out, and what's nice about it, because we used to do a lot of duo queue back when that was a thing in Hero League. We don't have to do too much talking between the two of us. The rest of the team, I kind of have to tell them what I want, and vice versa. I don't really know exactly what they want at all times. And so there's a lot of silent things happening between him and I, which really speeds things up, which is nice. I see him posturing in a certain way, and I know when to follow up, and he kind of does the same for me, when that's just time, put in together.
So Furl just kind of knows Apple Mike's going YOLO again. I guess I should walk in there too.
Yeah, well, he knows that I'm staring at him the entire team fight. So if he goes in, I'm going to keep him safe so he can be bold. And then I know the same thing as well. If I dive in recklessly, he can come in and clean up for me to make me not embarrassed that I died 1v5. So it's a nice system. It's a buddy system.
Follow-up question for me on Game 2 before I pass it over to Born. Last week I casted you guys. They targeted Tracer. They targeted Stukov. I kind of out loud speculated why that was, and then I got to see this Game 2. You guys kind of flex in a couple of power picks, making teams pick their poison. You finally got to play your Tracer. How'd you guys feel Game 2? Because that was Game 1 pretty close, but Game 2 you guys really took control of that.
Yeah, so it's interesting. There was a moment of, there's very few heroes that I don't like to play Tracer into, and they happen to pick numerous of them. And so even as the last part of the draft rolled around, there was some questioning and some doubt from some of my teammates. And I really just had to change up the style a little bit. A lot of times the Tracer, I'll kind of go in hard to start it off and, blow up somebody initially. And here I had to play a little more patient, and I had to play cleanup, which, with Furl's damage coming out, and Quan, kind of chasing off some of the damage dealers as well, and kind of splitting up the team. It was a lot easier to play cleanup when we kind of did that style where I kind of hung back for a second and then just, when everybody was low, just went in and cleaned them all up.
Yeah, I'm sure this goes without saying, but I mentioned this a couple of times in that game too, as I was watching you, and I was watching, taunt variant is definitely something you're going to be aware of. And as soon as Big Wiz dropped that taunt on anybody that wasn't you, it was like your aggressive meter just went through the ceiling. I could see your eyes get big, and you just went in there and tried to find something. You were watching that, right?
Yeah, I even asked the team if they could call it out. I don't know if anybody did, but I was like, guys, just let me know. That's my go signal. Sometimes in the chaos, it's hard to tell when it comes out. And then a couple times he did it to me early game, and I think I just E'd right away. If Diablo wasn't there, I wouldn't have to E, but Diablo just does way too much of my health pool on his own. So
yeah, especially post 13, if he gets you against the wall, you're in a lot of trouble.
Yeah, and people always say, how do you get caught as Tracer versus Diablo? It's because you're moving so much to dodge abilities that sometimes the wall is safer than the blizzard. So you're just choosing which way you want to die. It's not as simple as just saving your blinks to be away from walls.
100%. And I play Diablo a lot. I tank on my team. The few opportunities I get to Diablo into Tracer, that's what I'm looking for. Like, the one opportunity I get, I'm not going to miss it. So there's definitely a fine line that you have to flirt with as on both sides of that equation, right? And the same for Varian even. Like, do I hold my taunt to keep the threat of it up and keep Tracer back? Or if I think I can secure this kill on Kael'thas, do I use it? It's, kind of a tough decision, because as long as taunt is up, you really gotta pay attention to it.
Yeah, it kind of has that mosh value,
Yeah.
Even
Yeah.
if it's not used, everybody's playing differently until it comes out. The tanks are holding their CC, the healers are holding their ancestrals and other sort of big, save mechanics. So yeah, so it's definitely something that I try to avoid normally. I almost asked for the ban on it in that third ban phase, and in going back, I would have banned it just to make life easier. But I'm glad that we were able to do it, because it shows that we can, when we need to. We just have to adjust. I just have to play a little less aggressive to start those fights.
Well, and I think actually Sonya, now that I'm kind of thinking about it, is kind of good for that, because she's one of the heroes that can get in there and draw out that CC for you fairly safely. She can leap back there, she can spin, she can put pressure, and force the tanks to spend some of those cooldowns on her and really open up the game for you.
Yeah, the leap follow-up. One thing we used to have trouble with is when Quan would leap in to open, we had no follow-up because he was just too far forward. And with the Tracer, it really allows him to play that aggressively and be that initiator. So he's full health when he goes in, rather than using the leap halfway through and he's at half health. And it allows for a lot of different things that are really nice and really synergistic.
Born, I'm going to pass it to you before I take it home.
Well, I'm going to have to let you take it home because my question was already answered. I was going to ask about taking Tracer into heroes such as Varian and Jaina, typically those comps that we don't see Tracer picked into. But, you guys already covered that ground, so somebody was reading my mind.
Yeah,
All right.
One of the things that helped, I was going to say about the Jaina is, did she ever get her ice block?
I don't think so.
I don't remember seeing it at all.
That can be a painful one when they get it early, because then I blow my whole bomb and everything into it. It's wasted, and now I'm standing still. Do I stick around for her to exit and then possibly die? Do I hope my team can clean it up? It creates a lot more confusion when she goes that, and it really ruins the intent. So I think that was a big factor too, is she wasn't able to get it because we pushed so quickly and ended so early.
So last question, you guys, if my results screen is up, now on the season, 10 wins and 1 loss. That puts you squarely in second place, and if you weren't aware, while you guys were playing today, Gilly Shark dropped their first map to Regen Ghost, putting you both with the same number of losses. It's a flex match. When is the grudge match happening?
So I'm not in charge of scheduling. The team just tells me when to show up, and I'm there. So Quan would probably know the answer better to that. But I'm excited for it. I heard that they're a solid team, and I know that Fur will give us the down low on them when it's time for the scouting before the match, and I look forward to it. It's always more fun to play people that are right at or right above your skill level, and so I always look forward to it, embrace it.
Now, what I actually wanted to say was, you guys be sure you DM me when you schedule it, because I'm going to have to race Baja for that game, because he loves casting Gilly. But I'm actually going out of town for a couple weeks, so we can't do that. But I'll be paying attention. I hopefully I'll be able to watch out of town. We'll see how the wife did that one. But any shout outs on your way out the door?
Yeah, so I talked to the team about shout outs. I said I feel like I'm saying the same thing every week. So I guess the shout out today would really be just something that we've been doing a lot better, is just following the calls. Has been really solid, a lot more communication, and that's on everybody's part. The people that talk a lot, are continuing. The people that talk less are talking more. And there's just a lot of faith in each other. There's a lot of, helping each other out, looking out for one another. And that's something that takes a lot of time to get to. And I feel like we're kind of chipping into that. And that's awesome. So I'm very proud of the team.
Well, you guys look great. Just because you happen to keep scheduling when I'm looking to cast. This is the third time I've gotten to catch you guys this season. It's been a lot of fun each time. So keep it up. We'll be watching, and tell the guys I said hello and go enjoy your victory.
Thanks a lot, man. You too. Have a good night.
All right, Born. Well, that's going to do it for us. How about shout-outs for you?
Shout outs to both teams for putting on some amazing games tonight. This was my first cast for the season and I thoroughly enjoyed it. So also shout out to you, Mongoose. Thank you so much for letting me cast with you and doing all the hard work here and just letting me show up to co-cast.
Well, you're always welcome. I know our schedules are very conflicting, you East Coaster you, so we don't get to do it as much as we would like, but hopefully we can find a couple more. As for myself, I will probably only have one more cast sometime next week before I am gone for like 3 weeks. I'll be back just in time for NGS last regular season weekend playoffs. But in the meantime, we are going to throw you over, ladies and gentlemen, to Heroic. Match in progress with Ziltoid. Yikes S tier versus Archon. Heroic Division has been fantastic this season. So hope you guys enjoy that game. Have a wonderful night.